Okay, guys, quick interpretation video. I am just looking at this scene a little bit differently, and I'm going to present to you um, what I've interpreted. So I'm looking at this L here, and I'm thinking, is it an L? Is it a 7? Is it a time? What if it's all three? So the L would be number 12. L is the 12th letter of the alphabet. 7 would be 7, and the time looks like it would be 3:05. So 7, 12, 3:05. Moving on to the next scene, this could be a crescent in relation to the moon, or it could be a C, which is the third letter of the alphabet, or it could be a U, which is the 21st letter of the alphabet. That doesn't hold relevance to what I was going to say about this, though. The What I think is in this interpretation video is it could be a U. The reason for that is because of the silvery white color that they've placed onto this shape, which I believe is a U. Also, uranium is silvery white. It's a silvery white metal, and the symbol for uranium is U as well. The reason I think this is silvery white, because some people may disagree, is if you look at the tile beneath it, that's white and it doesn't match the color of that. And also the apple is also white with a very light tint of green on there. But it doesn't match this. This has a more silvery white finish to it. So I think that may be talking about uranium. Down here we've got an X, which is 10, and then we've got 5 in tally marks, which together represents the number 15. 15 could be interpreted as 3 as well, so it could be, again, saying 3. If this isn't representing a time and just a date, then it could be 712, and then 3, uranium, and then we get onto the apple, which is commonly agreed. It's commonly agreed that that represents New York, and New York appears to be splitting, and then a lotus flower seems to be coming out of it. Lotuses grow on water, so this could be interpreted as a water type event, and that's pretty much what I've kind of taken from that. So just to run through it very quickly, the L, so 12-7, 3, uranium, New York, water event, and then we get down to Obama's foot here, where I think the focus is supposed to be on the steel toe cap, and then you've got the pound coin, which is gold. So that could be saying steel gold. And I think I've seen a few references to gold being stolen, and I don't know if it's possible to steal gold out of the Federal Reserve, as protected as it is. But it appears that if not all the gold goes missing, some of it goes missing. Steel gold. That's all I can think about that part. The foot, the whole foot doesn't really have relevance to me, apart from the fact that Obama's foot is a size 12, and if that's representing a time, day, or month, it could be December. If you take the size of the foot into consideration, which I'm not really, my main focus is on the steel toe cap, steel gold. So just to run through that very quickly, 712. The 7 is upside down, and the 12 I'm getting from the letter L, which is the 12th letter of the alphabet. The 3, which is represented down here, I think is 15. This adds up to, but could also represent the number 3 in 24-hour time. And then you've got the C here, which I think is a U, and it's silvery white, and the symbol for uranium is U, so I think that's talking about uranium. The apple represents New York. New York appears to be splitting, and then a water event comes along. So 7:12, 3 o'clock, uranium, New York, tsunami. If a nuclear device or several nuclear devices were placed in any of the canyons on the East Coast, and they were detonated, it would cause the Earth to expand from the detonation. That would cause a fissure or a crack in the Earth, generating a massive earthquake, which I think relates to the Bible, where it talks about a massive earthquake happening. And then from that massive earthquake, if the Earth was to split, water would rush in to fill it, which would cause a massive tsunami off of the East Coast, if this is talking about New York. which is represented by the lotus flower. The lotus flower also being a symbol for birth and death. And then you've got the steel gold down here. If an event like this was to happen, most likely Iran or North Korea would be blamed, or even both of them would be blamed. If you want to, kill two birds with one stone, you could have America attack North Korea for this, or you could have Israel attack Iran for this, or you could have a mixture of the two. And considering obviously the announcement that came from Trump today, moving the embassy to Jerusalem, it's likely that an attack like this would be blamed on one of those two countries. You've got the Korean issue, the Korean Peninsula issue, you've got the Middle East issue. Both are ripe for blame. Like on the 9/11 attacks, on the Twin Towers, the result of that was the Iraq War, under the pretext of not just weapons of mass destruction, but also a terrorist attack on the homeland, which allowed them to gain approval from Congress and from the general public to go to war with Iraq. War in Iraq, but looking for Osama bin Laden. No, not at that time. It was Saddam Hussein. So first it was Saddam Hussein, then it was Osama bin Laden after that. So that seems to be the whole pretext, and it's always about oil. It always comes down to oil, the black money. And I really don't want anything like this to happen, because if an event like a uranium device such as a nuclear weapon being set off in a canyon which caused a fissure in New York, cracked the earth there, which generated a tsunami, which then wiped out thousands, if not millions of people, that would be devastating. So of course I don't want that to happen. Of course I don't want to be right. But looking at the entire scene here, it has a flow of context. It gives you a date. It gives you a time. It gives you a device or a substance. It gives you a location. It gives you an event. And then on the side, maybe while that's all happening, some gold's going missing, as in steel, gold. So that's my interpretation of the video. Not of the video, but of this particular scene. I do think it's open to multiple interpretations, but as I said, having the whole discussion about is this an L or is this a 7, I just started thinking, what if it's both? And it's very possible that it could be saying 7/12, which is tomorrow. It's possible that the 15 down here could be representing 3. It's possible this could be a U for uranium, especially since the silvery white color compared to the tiles and the apple itself, which are both white. This is a different type of white, a more silvery type of white, especially with the reflections on top of it here. And the apple being New York and splitting could obviously talk about a geological event that happens as a result of the uranium device. And then the lotus flower, as I've said, grows in water, so I think that's symbolizing some sort of water event, rebirth and death, regeneration kind of thing, is what it also symbolizes. And then down here, Obama's foot size 12. I don't know if that has any relevance, but the steel and the gold, if you don't say steel toe cap and you don't say pound coin, you can just interpret that as steel and gold, steel gold, stolen gold.